Snail Games says ARK 2 still on track for late 2024, with annual DLC releases and their vision up to 2029, calling it the next masterpiece. Hello survivors, who thought ARK 2 had dropped off the face of the planet? I certainly had my suspicions. As you may recall, I recently covered a piece about something that Jeremy Stieglitz said regarding having their entire team on ASA indefinitely, and having ASA be the future platform for ARK. I felt that was pretty strongly indicating that ARK 2 was put on the bench because you'd think that ARK 2, being the big sequel, would likely be the future platform for the franchise. But Snail Games had something different to say. As always survivors, make sure to subscribe so you don't miss out on any of the latest ARK news. Recently, Snail Games announced that they would be participating in the Noble Capital Markets 19th Annual Emerging Growth Equity Conference in early December. Boy, that's a mouthful. And he covered a bit about their future plans, indicating that ARK 2 is still very much on the horizon. So basically, just to break down what Snail Games said in this presentation, he'd already covered about the success of ARK Evolved and the launch of ARK Ascended, and at this point in the presentation he moved on to their next project, that being ARK 2. So this timeline shows the various releases of games and the canonical DLCs since 2015, taking us up to where we are today. ARK 2 is still listed as 2024, and in fact Tsai said in the presentation late 2024. So there's been no deviation so far on the anticipated release for ARK 2. However, considering the ARK Ascended roadmap is now through to October 2025, and that is heavily subject to change and likely push into 2026, added to the fact that ARK Ascended is meant to help the team learn UE5 for ARK 2 development, I don't see it coming in late 2024, let's be honest here. But it does look like Snail have a 5-year plan for the ARK franchise, taking us up to 2029 with annual DLC releases to fuel the franchise growth. Now, although he was talking about ARK 2 specifically on this slide, it likely includes the new canonical DLC releases for ARK Ascended that will release sometime after Genesis Part 2 has released in 2025. But if they stick to this timeline, that's potentially 5 or 6 more canonical DLCs between ARK Ascended and ARK 2. But you could argue that new DLCs isn't a surprise because it's what is expected, and you'd be right, but this is more about the fact that ARK 2 is still very much in their plans. Then this slide, Tsai basically talks about how they will transcend across entertainment mediums, from video games to TV and to the big screen. To be honest, the audio coming from the presentation was so poor, it was very difficult to figure out exactly what he was saying. But he did say that the animated TV series is due to release next year, but gave no further information relating to dates or platforms. But as we heard during the Extra Life stream, we should be getting details on when and how we'll be able to watch it early next year. But Tsai did say he sees the TV series as a great marketing strategy to bring new players to ARK Ascended, which to be honest goes without saying. This slide was basically just a different graphical representation of what he went over, so the near-term focus is on the ARK expansion, which includes ARK 2 release and the ARK 2 DLCs. Moving on to the medium term, where they are looking to expand the ARK universe beyond gaming, and I think this is referencing the TV and film from the previous slide. So don't be surprised if we start seeing films in the future starring Vin Diesel. So yes, still very much part of their long-term plan covering the next 5 or 6 years. But I still very much doubt we'll see ARK 2 before 2026 at the earliest, as I just don't see them releasing the title until all of the existing DLC content is released for ARK Ascended. But none of this is really groundbreaking news, but as I say, this does confirm that ARK 2 is still going to be a thing, and on paper is still planned for next year. And I know the community is pretty much split on some not being interested in ARK 2 as they want to experience ARK Ascended as it develops, and they're not interested in the ARK 2 mechanics, and those that still can't wait for ARK 2 to release to experience something entirely new. But how many people does this news really excite? Let me know in the comments. That's all the news for today, survivors. Make sure to subscribe to keep up with all the latest ARK news.